Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Jennie Montgomery. Welcome to another half hour of information to help you make the most of your time, to make informed decisions, and to keep up with goings on around Greater Augusta. And talk about what's going on. The big Home and Garden Show is coming up this weekend at the JBA. We'll get to that with Michael Seward in just a few minutes. But first, it was a gift 9 months in the making. A Columbia County woman offered to be the surrogate for a special couple who couldn't have a baby. Jessica Cooper's story is so heartwarming, and she's here to tell us about the experience. Right now, though, take a look at this clip from a story we aired on News Channel 6 over the holidays.
Had struggled with infertility for about 8 years, and they had a few years back decided to freeze some embryos. She was thinking about going the surrogacy route, and I just randomly said, I would love to do it for you. There really wasn't a whole lot of thought put into it.
Husband David immediately supported the idea.
Of course, this was his sister, so that played a role in it, but we both just felt strongly that this was something the Lord, had put in our lives for us to do.
The biggest struggle for Jessica and David was how to tell their children, ages 3, 6, and 9.
It's not something that you hear about every day.
Right.
None of their friends have experienced this or talked about this, so it was definitely a brand new topic, and we just kept it very basic. This is just me showing love to them by helping them create a family, and you will have a new cousin.
So I guess the first thing, Jessica, how old are you?
I am 38.
You're 38. How did the idea come to you that this was something you wanted to do?
My sister-in-law just actually approached me after a conversation with her doctor, when her doctor had told her it was no longer safe for her to consider carrying after they had been through infertility for years. And she just approached me that she was thinking about going the surrogacy route. And I just randomly said, I would love to do it for you. There really wasn't a whole lot of thought put into it. And I said, let me, talk to my husband and her brother, and we'll let you know for sure. And I just knew when the opportunity arose that it was the right thing to do, that it was what I should do. I had no doubts in my mind that it was something I was supposed to do.
That is, it's an opportunity, like you said, that came your way, and you just had that gut feeling that this is what I'm supposed to be.
Right.
What a wonderful role for you to play.
Right. Yes.
Oh, I just think it's tremendous. You said that your pregnancies were easy.
Right. I had 3 normal, healthy pregnancies, full-term deliveries. So I've been blessed with 3 amazingly healthy babies.
And she was a type 1 diabetic.
Type 1 diabetic, yes. And like I said, had struggled with infertility for about 8 years.
Right.
And they had a few years back decided to freeze some embryos to have for later, just in case, or to try IVF again in the future. So they were prepared, and yeah.
So you and your husband talk about it.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, I'm totally behind it.
Yes, he is typically a very not jump on board type of person. He usually likes to think on things a lot, takes a little while to make decisions, and he was immediately for it. Of course, this was his sister, so that played a role in it, but we both just felt strongly that this was something the Lord, had put in our lives for us to do, and that it was just, it would be a blessing for everybody.
How did your in-laws feel? How did all the grandparents
feel? Oh, excited. So excited. Everybody in the family was very excited. We waited to tell people till we had started the process, so we didn't tell anyone in the beginning. So it was kind of a surprise and shock when we told them that we were doing it. We actually waited till after the transfer till we told a lot of the family.
Yeah.
And yeah, everyone was super excited.
So for you, after you had the procedure, then you're having to wait to make sure that you are pregnant.
Right. Yes. There's a 10-day waiting period after the embryo transfer. It's just like an IVF transfer.
Yeah.
So there's a 10-day waiting period after that to find out if you are positive, if it's a positive pregnancy.
And so you were very excited.
Yes. Yes. We were very excited. Every day was countdown on the calendar.
So as it's moving along, there comes the time when you're telling your own children.
Yes.
That you're carrying their cousin, basically?
Yes.
Because That's their cousin.
Right.
Yeah.
That was one of our biggest struggles as a couple, my husband and I, is how will we tell our children and will they understand?
Will they understand?
It's
Yeah.
not something that you hear about every day.
Right.
You know, none of their friends have experienced this or talked about this. So it was definitely a brand new topic. And we just kept it very basic and just told them basically that exactly, I'm carrying for your aunt and your uncle, and you will have a new cousin, and that's pretty much all it was. We kept it very basic and very simple, and they were very accepting to it. They had a great reaction, and just loving the whole way. They were super excited when he got here.
Right.
So yeah, it ended up being much better than I could have ever expected with telling them.
And I guess when you told your friends, or when you started showing,
Yes.
and you were saying, not mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was kind of the running joke, and my husband liked to use that joke as well.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean,
I bet he did. Not
mine.
mine.
Yes. We didn't, like I said, we didn't tell people for a long time, just because of some of the struggles they had had in the past. She
Right.
wasn't wanting to be open about it, so we waited. But there did come a time with your fourth pregnancy, you obviously show very early, and easily. So yeah, it was basically just an explanation of I'm carrying it for my sister-in-law, and the reaction and the love and the welcoming was awesome from everyone. Everyone was very
Absolutely.
accepting of it.
So did she come to, or did they come to doctor's appointments and hear the heartbeat? And
They
all
did.
that?
They came to all of the ultrasound appointments, and yes, got to see the sonogram, which was it's so amazing to see, a baby anyways, and then to get to watch
Right.
their faces, experience that for the first time was even more meaningful.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It makes me want to tear up just thinking about it, because you knew what joy they
Right.
were going to experience
Right.
having a baby.
Right.
And that you were able to carry that baby for them is
Mm-hmm.
so tremendous.
It was a blessing. It truly was. And like I said, just being able to be the one, I knew what it was like to experience those ultrasounds and to go through the motions and go through everything, but to go back and remember what it's like to be a first-time mom, seeing it through her eyes was just as much fun. Yeah.
Was everybody there when the baby was born?
Everybody was there. We had the whole waiting room full. Everyone was there. Yes. Yes. Yes, we had a great delivery, and wonderful doctors involved, and yes, it was a waiting room full.
I'm sure that the medical staff involved must have been so excited too.
Oh, they
something
were,
they don't see every day.
Exactly, and they were amazing, and they made the process so easy. Like you said, we had so many people there, but they were very accommodating, and yeah, it was. Everyone in the delivery room was crying. Nurses, doctors.
yeah.
We were all in tears when he was born. So yes.
So you have the baby, and the parents are right there. Are they giving the baby to you?
No,
initially
he went
hand the baby
directly
to
to
her?
them. Yes, they had full custody as soon as he was born. He was their baby. He was never my baby.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the doctors gave him straight over to my sister-in-law, and she was able to do skin to skin,
Right.
immediately bond with the
Right.
baby. So
Yeah, she couldn't nurse.
correct, right,
So-
right. But she
right.
did do skin to
But
skin.
she did
Yeah.
the skin to skin, so the baby just instantly feels that security.
Yes,
And feels
right.
that heartbeat.
Right, yes,
Oh.
yes. So they bonded quickly. Yes.
How wonderful. How wonderful. Was any part of it hard for you, or did you just had that mental distance the
That's
whole
a
time?
question I get a lot. A lot of people have asked me over the last few weeks of how I'm doing and how
Right.
emotionally I'm feeling. And I really just say I did separate myself. I think it was something I knew from the beginning that I didn't allow myself to get too emotionally attached. Obviously, I was emotionally attached to him at
Sure.
some point,
Sure.
and to some level. But and he's my nephew too, so I love him on that level as well. But yeah, it wasn't hard. It was something that I went into knowing that this was their baby. It was, like I said, it was never mine.
Yeah.
I was just blessed to be able to carry him for them, but it was never my baby. So, seeing that and seeing the joy that he brought to them was enough. So it was fine. It really was fine. It was good. The Lord has blessed us. For sure.
Such a blessing,
Yes.
such a blessing. And I know you want to hear more of this story just like I do. So we're going to take a quick break right now. And when we come back, we'll hear more of Jessica's story of being a surrogate for her brother and sister-in-law. We'll be right back. We are talking with Jessica Cooper, who is a surrogate. She was a surrogate for her brother and sister-in-law, giving birth in November to a precious little baby boy. And I just thank you for being so candid with us and talking about this. You know, as women, we can do something so unique.
Absolutely.
And that is
Yes.
that, you know, we can have a baby. And you have given the gift of life, which is so tremendous. We were talking before the break about separating yourself from the baby and
Right.
really the joy you felt once the baby was born,
Right.
joyously seeing that couple with their baby.
Right.
You knew it was their baby.
Yes, yes.
You are looking forward to seeing the baby
Yes,
again.
yes, I'm
your,
so
your
excited.
nephew.
Yes, yes, and my children are looking forward to it.
They've gotta
It was such
be.
a big part of their life, you know, and their
Right.
time too. So they're excited to see him.
You'll always have a special bond with this nephew.
Absolutely,
You
yes.
know, it will just be interesting to see as he grows up
he grows.
what the bond is going to be like.
I'm interested to see it too. I mean, this isn't something, you know, it's new, and it's new. Nobody really talks about this or what to expect. So I'm kind of excited to see how it is too, and see what he thinks.
Isn't that funny,
You know, as
the
he
way you
learns.
just phrased that? Nobody says what to expect.
Right.
We all had that book, What to
With-
Expect when
when
you're
you're expecting, yes.
But what to expect after you have been the surrogate.
Mm-hmm.
We were laughing during the break talking about how good it feels after you have a baby to be able to lie on your stomach and,
Yes.
and to roll over.
Yes.
And also in Jessica's case, she had a baby, but she was able to
Go home
give
and
that
sleep.
baby away, and you can sleep.
Yes.
You get to go home and sleep, and you're not waking up with the feedings and all of that.
Right.
So that's got to be interesting for you to see the difference in how your body is recovering when you're not
Absolutely.
having to care for that newborn.
Absolutely. It's been a totally different recovery. I mean, I was
Yeah.
definitely able to go back to, you know, my normal activities for the most part very quickly versus before when you're
Right.
exhausted taking care of a newborn. You
Exhausted,
know, it's just,
right.
you're just exhausted. So, and I have my children to take care of that needed me too. So it was just jumping back into being a mom as soon as possible. Yeah, the
So
recovery's
you
been
felt
great.
you felt good by Thanksgiving, by the,
I
by
did.
the end
Yes.
of the month?
Yes, I did. It's been a few weeks now, and I felt great by the end of the month. Yes.
Oh, that's
The
just
recovery's been
that's
wonderful.
tremendous.
Yeah.
This is something that you said you felt the Lord was leading you to do.
Absolutely, yes. I've clearly felt that this was what I was supposed to do. There's been very few times in my life where I feel like the Lord has spoken to me
Yes.
very clearly without questioning, you know, what it was to do. And this is one of those times I knew for sure, without a doubt, that this was what I was supposed to do. And just seeing it come to fruition and the faith that we've all had through the process has been amazing. It's truly been a journey, you know, of faith all along, even with them starting back with their infertility and just having the faith that there was a plan and that they would one day be parents, you know, and watching that come to life and giving them, you know, a baby to complete their family has just been amazing and so joyous. And, you know, like I said, this is all from the Lord. It is a blessing to all of us. It has been to our whole family.
I think it is a very precious and humbling feeling, because I've had a few episodes in my life too when I felt like, oh, this was a unique purpose for me.
Right.
This was, and you feel grateful that you had that opportunity.
Yes, I do. Very grateful, very grateful. And I know that it's impacted my children's lives and my family's lives. And I tell people all the time, I just want my children to understand that this is what love is, you know, doing things for other people, even if it's something small. You know, it doesn't have to be carrying a baby. It doesn't have to be that big. And that was something we explained to them. This is just me showing love to them by helping them create a family, you know, and just the Lord's just using me as a vessel. And we can do that in so many ways in our lives, and by, you know, sharing things with others or giving to charities or, you know, helping other people out in so many other ways. It doesn't have to be something so big.
Well, the whole Christmas story is about a little baby coming into the world.
Yes.
And I think that the timing of this and that the gift you have given with this little baby is so significant, and it is just pure love that moved you to do that.
Absolutely. Yes,
Wonderful.
it is. It is.
It's wonderful. What's the baby's name?
His name is Cooper. Cooper McCamey. Yes.
And how big was he?
He was 7 pounds 15 ounces, 20 inches long, perfectly healthy little baby boy. went home, chubby cheeks, and just beautiful, just perfect. Yeah, we all had a fit over him.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And so he was just in the hospital like overnight? Then
Yeah,
they
he
got to
was
go
there
home?
for 2 nights.
Yeah.
I was there less than 24 hours and went
Right.
home. And he was there for 2 nights, and they went home. And then they had the new mom and new dad fun of waking up in the middle of the night and figuring
Yeah,
out things
yeah.
and going through all of that. So, and I was just a phone call away and could help them as much as I could, But yeah, they had, like I said, the delivery was wonderful, and he's been doing great. He's growing, and they're all doing really well. Really
Wonderful.
well.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for talking to us about being a surrogate and what a difference that it's made in your life.
Thank you so much for
your whole
having me.
family.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you for having me.
We'll be right back.